Hey YouTube, this is James. 2009 Scion XB. I put a serpentine belt on it. Belt was trashed. This is a learning experience for me. I'm somebody that's mechanically inclined, and this was a lot of trouble. Especially if you're like me, used to working on rear drive trucks and stuff, and that's what I work on typically. You don't run into that. Replace the serpentine belt. I'll tell you a couple things about this. Seen somewhere guys tell it's not necessary to take this motor mount on, right here, and you can opt to not do that, but I think it's a lot more work if you try to do it within place. It's not that bad. Take a block of wood, jack up the engine, up underneath, just be careful, and it'll be fine. And then on this mount, if you look at this, there's two bolts on the top. There's another one underneath here. It's just a nut, and it's real hard to get to. What I recommend is you separate this piece from this. There's another bolt in here, and this little black piece. So, and this stud right here has got a bolt head on it. So you take the nut off, and you can take this off. So you got one here, and one underneath there. Got one in that hole. All right. And then you got two brackets down here, where you see there's that silver bracket, and then there's one hiding back there behind it. You can't really see because that little black bracket's in the way, but there's two of those on each side. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 8 bolts to take off. Then you jack the engine up, and if you look in here, yeah, you can see it. There's a funny looking bolt head down there, and it is really damn hard to see in the son of a bitch. Anyway, that bolt is on the you'll see it. It's in the center there, and that is the tensioner. It's got a kind of a funny looking head on it. You can determine what it is. Now, what I didn't understand about this whole situation was that let's see if we can get a light on it. There it is right there. You see it right there at the top. Just northeast of that, there's a 19 millimeter stud thing sticking out of it, and that is your adjustment. It is not that pulley like it is on some cars. There's actually an adjustment there. Now, they have a tool that you can use, and I'll show you what it looks like. And you're probably not going to get this done without this. This one came from Sears, Craftsman. It's about 30 bucks. Well worth it. Harbor Freight's got one that is notorious for breaking. I have to use it once. I like to get more use than once out of my tools. I think Northern Tool has one too, maybe a little bit better, but either way. I said once you get that off and you jack the engine up, you can get into it pretty easy. Now, if you have trouble putting the belt back on, if you take the bottom bolt of the alternator out, it'll move that, let that alternator move down just enough to slip the belt on. And when you're on the passenger side of it here, you could take the tire off. There's a little door thing there. It's got four little plastic clips on it. Take those off, and you can reach down there if you're a gorilla like I am, and you can hold on to this belt, and you can manipulate that belt onto the bottom pulleys pretty doggone easy. There's some belt diagrams. If you don't know how the belt went, if it's broken or whatever, you just didn't take note, or you forgot like I did, it'll show you with that adjuster. What kind of a word is that? The adjuster for that is as well. But taking that wheel off, I recommend that. I recommend taking this off, without a doubt. I recommend getting that tool. Once I had the correct tools, and I had this shit out of my way right here, it really wasn't a big deal. The trick when you're putting all this back together is right here on this one here, use a punch to center that hole. That's 15. And the other two, I believe, are 17. And I said underneath here, underneath this, there is one 17 nut. It's better to get with a 3/8 ratchet. You'll never get it with a large ratchet. So remember, 1, 2, 3 there, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 8 total bolts. Take that out. And I think I mentioned that this stud right here, it'll just thread out with a I believe a 10 millimeter, or maybe it's a 9 that sits on top of that. So that's easy breezy. That's how you get around that. I couldn't figure that out for nothing. But anyway, I hope that helps you guys, and it did me. I could probably do one in an hour, and instead of sitting here scratching my head trying to figure this shit out, because I said I'm pretty mechanically inclined. I'm pretty good at stuff like this, but I never fool with front drive cars. that was kind of a learning experience for me. So y'all check it out, rate the video, subscribe to it. Got some other videos of my junk I'm working on. See ya.